How's it hanging, YouTube? Peter here, your Ginger Geordie geek. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're doing a Monday Night Live, covering all the stuff we'd usually cover on a Saturday, talking a little bit about the geeky news and also Planet of the Apes. Well, sorry, Kingdom of the Apes. As ever, I'm surrounded by some of YouTube's best. We have got good old Luke. Luke, you're in the centre. I don't like that. I want to swap. We've got Luke. How are you, Luke?
YouTubers together, strong.
Are you all right? Are you well?
I'm good, thank you. Yes, glad to be
good
here.
stuff.
You know, when we don't have a Saturday, it has to be a Monday.
Yeah. And it's we've got some interesting little tidbits to talk about tonight, so I'm looking forward to getting stuck into some of them. Our favourite American, Efren, all the way from San Diego. How are you, my friend?
What is going on, Comic Book Familia? No, I haven't seen the latest 8 movies, and spoilers do not bother me at all, so talk all you want about it. James, you can go get some food or something, but they don't bother me at all.
I've already eaten, actually.
Yeah.
Literally just finished eating, so that's fine. But I might be, requiring a beverage at that point, so I will go do that.
Are you going to go and see it at some point, Efren? But
I think so. Yeah, I was supposed to do it this weekend, but I just, completely forgot, so.
Yeah. Well, you're a man of leisure. I can imagine, going to the cinema and things like that. It makes it a long day for you. It's, just sit with your feet up instead.
Yeah, I need a tough life. I'm retired, I'm just hanging out and chilling, just waiting for Peter to do his weekly show so I can be on it or at least be invited, not feel left out.
Yeah, absolutely. Efren's actually scared James the other week. It was funny because we were in London together and we were talking about when you come over, end of the year. And I jokingly said, you best brace yourself because Efren will be wanting to be up and we'll be going for a jog.
Runs and stuff.
And he was like, no, he effing won't. No, he won't.
You silly bastard, Peter. Of course he's not going to want to go for a jog.
Yeah.
And then every messages on the group chat the next day.
Yeah.
I really want to do a couple of get in shape, guys who want to go for some jogs in the morning in London. So I was like, great.
I mean, it is a challenge because you probably get stabbed, Efren. I'm not going to lie. I think you can't really run around London like that. Yeah. James, how are you, my friend? Are you well?
I am excellent. Always good to be here. I don't think we've done a show on this channel for a while now. Feels like
I'm kind of reviewing the live show content, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, they're going to be probably a little bit more sparse. But it's nice to be back.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah, you too. And as ever, we've got good old comic lad Simon. How are you, Simon?
Hello.
I'm good.
Oh, what was that? What was that?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, together, got you. Yeah. You've seen Planet of the Apes, haven't you, Simon?
Oh, I have, yes. I've seen it.
Yeah. See, you're a good boy, Simon. You're a good boy. You've done your homework. Well done. Okay, guys, we're going to crack on. We've got lots to get through tonight. Hopefully, it's going to be a shorter show than usual. We've got a few bits and bobs of news to cover. And like I say, we're going to talk a little bit about what's been on TV recently on the movies. We've got Phil in the chat. Nice to see you, Phil. I hope you're well. And we've got Sean Hogan. Always nice to see you, bud. Thank you very much for joining. Okie dokie. Let's crack straight on with a little bit of news. And I wanted to start off and get your initial thoughts on this, guys. This is obviously the the image of good old Superman from the James Gunn movies. Before we talk about what you think of the image, I have to say I'm loving all of these kind of photoshopped things that have coming out now, with them kind of sat doing different stuff. And there was a great one the other day of them sat on the edge of Scarlet Witch's bed.
Yeah,
which I just thought was tremendous. Yeah, but I'm loving it. So that image in itself is really interesting. People are jumping to think that that's the Rogue Sun from DC 1 Million. But I don't know. I quite like the costume. I think the costume does what it needs to do. Efren, I know you're an old school comic book collector. What do you think of the costume? Does it do it for you?
Yeah, I thought the costume was nice looking. But everything else, I was like, why is he sitting down? Putting on his boots.
It's an odd choice, isn't it? It is an odd choice.
And I had never seen a meme yet. That's the first one I've ever seen, so I got to catch
up. Oh, mate. You have to Google. There are some absolutely brilliant ones. Yeah, it's well worth looking at. What about the rest of you guys? Anybody got any strong feelings about this?
For me, it's. I just think the image, like the pose, doesn't showcase the suit very well. A lot of people are saying it's very CWE, and I think that's the looseness of it. Like it's kind of folding up around the arms and stuff like that. Whereas you want a suit to be to show off his physique because he's obviously been hitting the gym for months on end to get buff for the role. I think it looks a little too thick. like the material on it, and the collar is maybe a little high, but like, oh, you know, I don't think it's bad by any means. And I like that there's red pants, underpants. I'm happy.
Yeah,
with that.
he's got his undies on. Yeah, it is an interesting choice. I mean, the very first image we got, official image we got of Henry Cavill, was of him kind of coming out that the vault.
Yeah, it's
with
after he gets
all
smacked
the-
into it. Yeah,
Yeah,
It's the
and
shot
it
of him
looked
kinda standing back up.
amazing.
Incredible.
So yeah, I get what people are saying about this. That it's kind of it's strange kind of pose, really.
It's just how like obviously something horrendous is happening outside, and how casually. It's just
Yeah.
very strange. Like,
I mean, obviously, I don't think this is a scene from the movie. I think this is just
A little teaser in it.
a teaser or something, isn't it? Yeah, because I mean, yeah. Simon, what do you think?
Well, Superman gets dressed quicker than that, that's for sure.
That is true. That is true. Yeah.
He's
It's
always
just
known
taking
to go read his into the phone box and then straight back out, and he's changed, isn't he? So the fact, like you said, he's putting his boots on. It's a weird teaser, I would say.
Yeah.
So,
you made a good point. Like, you couldn't keep this under your normal clothes. This suit, though, I feel like. So I think the whole, you know, like the kind of
Yeah.
iconic, he pulls his shirt open and it's the Superman underneath it. I look at that suit and I don't think you could hide that underneath clothes.
That's a good. Do you know that's a great point,
Yeah.
James? It is a. Yeah. Luke, what about yourself, mate?
In all honesty, I'm a little bit indifferent to it. Like it looks like Superman. It is Superman. You know, the idea of putting your boots on and getting to work. You know, I kind of get what they're going for, but it doesn't really do anything for me either way. You know,
Yeah.
I'll just wait and see the film. I'm not as big a Superman fan as you guys.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it did the job for me. It's a teaser, really. At the end of the day, it's certainly got a lot of talk. It's generated discussion. I think it's clever having the image of the eye in the background. I don't think we've had it confirmed that is, you know, the Rogue Sun or not. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think this looks cool. Just going to say, we've got a few other people in the chat. We've got Sean. Nice to see you, Sean. Thank you for joining. We've got Fuzzy of the Dunlop. I'm here. I'm here until I hear any doll talk. It might push me over the edge. Yeah, I get you, Fuzzy. I get you. And thank you, Fuzzy, for jumping on last night for the show myself and James were on, which was great fun. It's the first picture, absolutely, and it's done what it's meant to do for me, Sean. It's teased with, and it's got people chatting a little bit. I'm here for the dolls, the 5 dolls on screen. Why, thank you, sir. Why, thank you. We've got MG Comics. Nice to see you, bud. Hope you're well, James. And we've got Oz AC. Always good to see you, bud. Okie dokie. So that's the Superman costume. Like I said, do go check out some of those memes that have kind of started cropping up, because some of them are bloody great. I tried to do one for tonight, but I didn't have time because I was going to have us in the background. But yeah, there are some really, really cool ones out there, so worth checking out. I wanted to touch on this because you know I absolutely love the last Thor movie. And I thought it was interesting that Chris Hemsworth has come out this week and said that he's basically confirmed and admitted that Love and Thunder was a piece of shit. He said that he didn't stick the landing. He blamed himself for it. He said as well that he thinks there was far too much improv. He was just kind of let loose to go and do what he wanted. First time I've kind of really heard one of the big Marvel guys come out and hold their hands up and say, yeah, we're ballsed it up. What do you guys think of this? Anybody think of these? Think of this?
I think it's. Oh, go on.
I'm sorry. I remember saying this. How many years is this movie? It's been 2-3 years. This movie came out. At least
2 years, yeah, so
we might
2
be
years.
talking about it now.
Yeah.
I just looked at and yeah, I mean, I think they blew a great opportunity with Jane Foster. You know,
That was
so they
terrible.
blew that opportunity. But I'm not sure why he's talking about it now. You know,
I would imagine he's got a new movie coming out from Mad Max movie.
yeah.
He doesn't want to be done with the character of Thor, and I think he's worried that this was kind of the nail in the coffin, as it were. I don't think it's John Taika Waititi's. Did I get that right? I committed?
Yeah,
Did I
that's
do
good.
that?
yeah.
That was good?
Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
Not Taka.
I don't think it's done him any favors, because he seems to be going downhill rapidly.
He's doing a
Luke,
Star
what were
Wars
you
movie.
saying? Yeah, is he? But is he really?
Yeah, that one's the furthest along one that they have. So yeah, I think so.
Luke, what were you saying, mate?
I was just going to say, it's all well enough him saying it and doing it, and obviously being on the side of the fans and wanting to give the fans what they want, and, you know, acknowledging the failure of the movie. but it doesn't really. It's nothing really to do with him. Whether you're improvising on set or not, you know, there's other people in charge. There's other people making those decisions. I mean, that's why you have a director. That's why you have an editor. That's why you have these people overseeing these projects. So again, it's all very well him saying, "Oh yeah, I was larking about, or I messed up. I'll take the blame for it." But it's not really him anyway, is it?
You see, I don't know. Look, I think Helmsworth's a big power star. I think the combination of him and Taika Waititi, I think they will have influenced that movie an awful lot. You're right. There will be lots of other people who pitch in and try and edit and stuff like that. But you can. It's very, and I like Taika Waititi in a lot of his stuff, but he's a very self-indulgent vein director. I think if you look some of his movies, there's similar jokes. He's always in
But
them
like, this
himself.
is why we end up with all the reshoots and stuff, right? Because by saying that they improvised, that means they went off script, which means that there's a chance that script was solid and they abused it.
Yeah.
We'll never know ourselves. But then at the same time, that's why they go back and do reshoots and things like that. Like somebody in charge looked at this and went, "That's all right," or "That will do," and yeah. But I just feel like the butt doesn't fall with him. Do you know what I mean?
But I find it really interesting because I remember at the time when we all got together and we kind of a feedback on the movie and stuff like that. The humour, I remember saying, just didn't land for me.
No.
And I remember saying it felt like it was kind of improv. It was just, there was no real cohesive story to it. And now, this guy's coming out and saying, yeah, there was a lot of improv on set. That absolutely makes sense to me because that's what it felt like. James, what do you think?
Well, every MCU movie almost has that to a certain extent. Like Iron Man, there's that famous Jeff Bridges quote, "We didn't have a script, man." Like they just bounced off each other. I think this movie was an example of that going kind of too far in one direction and it kind of like negatively impacting the movie, where the entire movie effectively is that, Whereas Iron Man had like these kind of main points, they just let them go anywhere with this one.
But I think that's the great point, because I think that for me reinforces what Luke was saying. I think in the example you've given there of Iron Man or whatever, that had a very strong director who probably was saying, yeah, that little bit there's canny, we'll keep it in, but actually that's enough now, guys, rein it back. I don't think Waititi did that. I think he's just, he was just whatever the hell.
Yeah,
chuck
and
it
I
in,
think they were constantly trying to up the ante, and it got wackier and wackier to the point it was just so ridiculous. Like, obviously, I think the bow bun thing.
Oh, the freaking bow bun! What the hell?
Which is, I feel like, breaks the entire universe in a way. It's just like, what, But I think Taika Waititi's clearly got a big ego, so I think you would have had a lot of the people around who would be afraid to say anything to him, I think, as well. A lot of directors like that.
Yeah. Fuzzy's just saying here that had arguably the best actor of his generation in Bale, and they wasted him in one of the worst MCU films. This can't happen again.
Such a good character as well. Gordon Godbutcher, like, they done my boy dirty. Like, I love that character.
I disagree with, I don't think there's anything wrong with that character in that film.
His performance
is the best thing in the movie. And it's everything around that, I think, is the problem,
I agree he's the best thing in the movie, but I still feel that we were shortchanged by the character, because again, I totally get it. Like, you want to see Bale, you don't want it all prosthetics or CGI, this, that, and the other, but I just feel like it was lacking. It doesn't change the performance, doesn't change that he was great in that role. It just wasn't what us comic book fans wanted, I guess, or expected.
It wasn't a very comic accurate rendition of the character, and I would have liked to have seen a comic accurate rendition. That said, I completely agree that Bale's performance was without doubt the shining moment of the movie. Without Bale, it would have been irredeemable, to be perfectly honest. I mean, it would have been a disaster. Can you imagine if you had Eccleston? Because, I mean, he wasn't the best in Dark World, do you know what I mean? If you had that script with Christopher Eccleston as the Dark Elf in that movie, it would have just been
that'd have been
a total shit show.
I wonder how much Kevin Feige has any influence in these movies. He's in charge of everything, and he was like, all these movies before, this one, they were being hit out of the park. They were so great. But I wonder if he has any input at all, saying, "Hey guys, I'm out here."
Pulled in too many directions, I think.
That's the thing. There's so much. He can't oversee all of it. He has to delegate to people, or trust in people.
Yeah, but he show up to look at the film.
But
you
would imagine, even if he's
so
not
far
there.
gone,
Yeah, But you would imagine even if he's not there on set, he's going to be getting regular kind of updates and scenes and whatnot.
Yeah.
And you would hope he would say, hang on a minute, guys.
Yeah, hang
you
on.
know, screaming goats, what are we doing here?
You know,
I think
it's
Yeah.
like, you know, we shouldn't also take for granted, like, making a movie is hard, man. You know, like, it's
Yeah.
really hard. And you can have, like, all the pieces are great, but when you put it together, it just doesn't work, you know?
I think a lot of it comes down to the writers, really. Writers of the script. And then
Yeah, but if
obviously
they went off
direct-
script, then it's not the writer's fault.
Yeah, true.
It would be really interesting, wouldn't it, to find or to get, I don't think any of the writers have ever spoken, because writers, they don't, when we're talking about movies and stuff, we often forget to talk really about the writing talent behind the movie.
They're
Do you know what I
so
mean?
under the radar. So
Yeah.
under the radar. It's insane.
But you can imagine them submitting a script and then seeing that on the big screen and thinking, whoa, hang on a minute, that's not what we're pitched, you know? Fuzzy's saying at the time, Waititi was red hot, people trusted him. Disney won't trust him again to go off script. Yeah, I think you're right, Fuzzy. I think you're right.
I also think there's a bit more of a tight grip on Star Wars. So, like, his Star Wars movie's not gonna, you know, that's what happened with Solo, and the directors got sacked halfway through, you know?
if
Do you
there's a
think-
Thor 5, they have to tone it down, the comedy, or the make it more serious.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think like what Taika Waititi could do a serious film? Because from what I've seen, everything is always, like you said, the same with those silly jokes and everything.
You see, even, and I have to say it's a masterpiece, I love it, even Jojo Rabbit
Yeah.
has still got Taika Waititi kind of silliness in it, in the
Silliness.
portrayal of Hitler. Do you know what I mean?
But it's the
And-
balance, though, of, like,
Yeah.
the serious moments in that. There's some shocking stuff in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Really
What I'm
heartbreak-wrenching
trying
stuff.
to get across is a bit like Sam Raimi's Doctor Strange, where he did all of his bits in that. Do you see what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's like those directors always do those bits.
Yeah.
You know. So
Yeah. MJ, this goes back to Luke's point, really. We had Gore the God Killer and we saw him kill one god. And it was a weird, again, that for me set the tone of the movie. You have this tragic scene of Gore with his dying daughter, then dead daughter. And the portrayal of the god was just weird. That
Yeah, it
in
was all
terms
like,
of that.
"Oh, hello,
Oh,
what
it
are
was
you
just.
doing?"
it-
Yeah.
I just thought, what the shit is going on here? Yeah. He was great. They let him down with the film. Yeah, I agree, mate. Okay, we're going to stick with the MCU, guys. Now, this could be utter bollocks. Now, it's been kind of talked about for a while. It seems to have come back to the front now. So I completely, before James shouted us, I completely know that this could just be a load of rubbish and just spam news. But there is a lot of talk about Chris Evans returning to a Disney Plus 6-episode series with him returning the Infinity Stones. Now, whether that happens or not, I don't know. What I'm asking you guys is if you would like to see that. And I'll tell you straight off the bat, I would sell my granny to see that, because I love Chris Evans as the character, and I think you could have such fun with that. Every episode, a different adventure, returning the gems kind of thing. What do you guys think? I'll start with you this time, Simon. Is this something that would interest you?
100%. Like, obviously, the way Captain America's gone, we've got the Falcon taking that sort of handle over, and I felt that series was good, but not what I would wanted to see from Captain America. So the fact that he could come back, it would be a really good thing for the fans.
Yeah. And we've talked, haven't we, about him potentially come back for Secret Wars. But again, if he comes back for Secret Wars, give us him as Human Torch. This would tick my Captain America box, I think. James, what do you think?
He'll be both. There'll be a scene where Cap and Human Torch meet, and it's him for both of them. I'd love to see this. Like, I think there's a really interesting story. Like, just his interaction with Red Skull, when he's kind of like
Yeah.
Stone, that kind of thing, you know. I think there's a really fun idea there. I just don't see it happening, really. I think the time is sort of passed for it. Like, Endgame was 5 years ago now at this stage, almost.
Yeah.
And that character was left on a very nice note. Like, and I'm certain he's going to come back for Secret Wars, you know, or another team up movie eventually. But yeah, like him starring in a series, I just don't see that happening at all. You know,
I mean, that's what made me doubtful when I said it was a Disney Plus series, I have to say. And I think you're right. When I think of Endgame, part of my pure joy of that movie is that some of the characters just got beautiful tie-ups. You know, that it ended. I mean, I blubbed like a baby with him and Peggy dancing in the house at the end. You know, it's just superb. So I wouldn't want them to do anything that diminishes that in. Efren, what about yourself, bud?
Oh,
Sorry,
hell
James,
yeah.
cut you off.
I'd love to see this, but I want each episode to be cinematic, put money into it, make it good. Each episode has to be at least a minimum of 50 minutes long, because how their end credits is always like 10, 15 minutes, everything. Put it into the actual, each episode. And I would love to see this. I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm with you. And Efren, you're right. I don't understand what the hell goes on with Disney, because the episodes seem to end and there's still like 20 minutes worth of crap just going on. And, and then you get panicky thinking, is there going to be a post-credit scene? And there's not.
A lot of it is like the kind of terms and condition kind of stuff for something at the very end, and different all the different languages as well. The other point I would say is I feel like this would also have that problem like Black Widow had, where we know like where this ends. We know how what happens to this character down eventually. So like, why go back?
Luke, what about you, bud?
So before I say my bit on that, the bit where James was saying about in Secret Wars with Captain America and Human Torch meeting, I think I'd prefer to see that in a Deadpool movie as opposed to Secret Wars because of the comedic side of it rather than them being there. So maybe that would work better for that.
Well, Deadpool's probably in Secret Wars too, so there'd be a bit
potential.
of
Yeah, I would imagine so, potentially. As for this, I think if this is true, this is Disney trying to win back the fans, because there's many audience members out there who say, for me, it ended with Endgame. For me, Endgame was it, and I don't care about the new stuff, whether it's good, bad, this, that, and the other. Endgame was the final. So if you're going to give them a little tag on for Endgame and say, well, look, now he's returning the Infinity Stones, then I think that's going to bring those audiences back, which then reintroduces them back into the MCU after all this other stuff has hit the wall and not stuck. Do you know what I mean?
It's clever Morgan. It's
I feel like
absolutely
this is a way for them to get those people back into the seats, back not necessarily in the theaters, but at least back into viewing the MCU for what it was previously.
I think if
it's
the
a bit
rumor
nostalgia
was
almost.
Yeah, if the rumor was it was an animated series, like a What If spin-off, I'd 100% say, I could absolutely see that. But like live action, it's stranger things have happened. I didn't think we would have got No Way Home as soon as we did, and we did.
I mean, what happens when you put a Soul Stone back? Do you get the soul back that was gone? Could he maybe take Black Widow and put her somewhere else in time?
I think we've talked about this stuff before, and I've been quite flippant in terms of when we hear actors saying, I'm never going to come back or I'm never returning. And my view has always been exactly the same as Jack's. Add a couple of notes on the paycheck, and all of a sudden that resolve disappears. So I think Chris Evans, Downey Jr., the love the roles, add a few zeros on, and I'm sure they would come back. Now, one of you mentioned Deadpool there. I think it was you, James. And I saw a little snippet. It was a meme thing or whatever, and it just, it tugged at my heart. And it was saying, because Deadpool's the only now MCU character who is aware of the universe outside of movies, he's the only character in these movies that's aware of Stan Lee's passing. And wouldn't it be great to have some kind of callback in one of the movies of him kind of referencing that in some way? Yeah, I'd be all for that, I think. Because there's also this rumble.
She-Hulk knows though as well, wouldn't she?
Yeah, because she
literally
broke
knows
the
what
through.
the MCU is. She was in Disney.
But nobody counts that series, James.
That was a great episode. That last episode was really good. You loved it at the time.
I give you, it was a decent. The one episode was. Is Fuzzy still in the chat? He'll be kicking off. It was a decent episode, that last one. What do you think? Would you like to see some kind of callback to Stan? Because there has been rumblings that he's signed over his likeness, hasn't there? That he's going to appear in future movies.
As long as it's tasteful, because you can really cross that line with Deadpool. Like, he plays everything as a joke, and as long as something for Stan is still done tastefully, then I guess it would be fine. Yeah. But I don't want to see him wearing like a Stan Lee face mask or something like that. That would just be too much.
The point, we were talking about this recently, Pete, and I think the point I said was I think he would have liked that. I think he would have liked him being put in these movies CG, whereas like a Peter Cushing in Rogue One, I feel like he'd have been horrified at the idea of that, you know. Whereas I think
Could
Stanley
you imagine
would
them
be like,
bringing
yeah.
Alec Guinness back? Because I mean, Alec Guinness wasn't a big
Oh, he
fan
fucking-
of
yeah,
Obi-Wan, was he? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, I think he would have loved the idea of I'll be in these movies forever. You know, I think that I feel like anyway, knowing what I know about Stanley, that he would have liked that.
See, I still think with Stan, they should go back to the Watcher kind of theory that Stan's the Marvel Universe Watcher, and he just appears in every movie, just in the background somewhere, just watching what's going on. I think that would be cool. Nice to see you, Connie. Thank you very much for joining. Okay, Efren, I'm going to come to you next to lead on this first bit of news. CGC are now going to be offering signature verification via GSA certification. What do you think about that? Is that something that excites you?
It doesn't excite me, but I think they should have done this a while ago, at least a couple years ago. You know, I'm not sure why they haven't done it, you know, since why they start doing it now, but they had the capability of doing it. I think they just didn't want to do it for some reason, you know, because they're this so-called standard. But yeah, I think it's good. You know, unfortunately, the other companies that do this, you know, they're going to probably take a dip, because no matter what CGC does, or I'm talking by what they do, but what I mean by that is all the mistakes they have made that everybody always shows on Instagram. People are always going to use them. You know,
Let's be honest. They are the top of the crop.
I mean, no matter what they do, and I'm included. You know, I still use them every now and then. You know, so
Yeah.
But yeah, I like it. You know, I'm good. You know.
And I like the labels. I think the labels look pretty smart, actually, with the black. I am excited by this. I've already started going through my collection to pull together a load that I want to send off. The only thing that I'm not keen on, and I don't understand the rationale really, is say you got a sketch cover and you sent that in. If the sketch is seen to what do you call it, to kind of to downgrade the book in any way from the grade it would get, they give it a green label. So you can't get the sketch verified, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, I'm excited by this.
Why is that? I don't understand it. Don't they verify the signature?
Well, that's the thing. They don't have the facilities. Like you sign a book and then put a sketch. Someone else can put the sketch over it. So they have no facilities to verify sketches, I think, is probably the
way it's worded is really strange. So they'll verify your signature, but if the sketch, like I say, if the sketch reduces the grade of the book, you get a green label. If it doesn't reduce the grade of the book, you get your yellow label, which I don't understand how that works in practice.
I mean,
tempted to test it, to be honest, and send in a sketch and see what happens.
Give it a lower grade, you know.
Yeah. Anybody else interested in this? Anybody else thinking they might submit some books for this?
Not even books. I have a ton of signed video game covers. Like for a long time, I was getting, Uncharted, Last of Us, all that signed at conventions. So I have like 20 plus. So love the idea of sending them in and getting them created. I think would be cool.
Yeah. You know what I've been doing on eBay? I've been looking for Jack Kirby books, you know, signed books.
So I've got one
on the cover. I don't see much on the cover. I see him like inside the pages, you know.
So Jack was one of these guys who didn't feel he should deface the cover art. Yeah. So the vast majority of his signatures are in the inside border. So I've got a book that's it's a Thor book, and it's got a silver Stan Lee signature on the front cover, and then inside on the border it's got a Jack Kirby signature. And I'd love it graded just to kind of protect it. But you grade that, you never get access to that signature again.
You never see that signature. That's the shit thing about it, isn't it?
Take a picture.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, Efren, to be honest. I'm thinking I'm scared it gets damaged. So I might end up just taking a photograph or a scan of that front page, and then I can slide it in the back of the CGC packet, you know. I would say with this, I am particularly pleased that CGC decided to use one of my favourite characters as their promotional poster boy there. Good old Eric, Thunderstrike. Phenomenal character that's not been around for a long time. Bit of a strange book for them to pull out, to be honest, to stick in there. Luke, have you got any books you're thinking of sending this way?
So the main reason why I was excited for this was because I've got loads of books with both signatures and sketches, which unfortunately I cannot now do. However, I can still send those over to CBCS. So, you know, for me, it had so much potential. Like I would have sent it to CGC for that reason, but now If I can't, I'm not going to risk sending them off to get a green label because they just wouldn't fit with everything else. And I don't really. I've got these little makeshift do-it-yourself CGC case things, the magnetized ones. That's what they're in at the moment, and they'll stay in those for a bit longer, I guess.
Yeah.
It is such a shame because the ones that I would want to send are sketch covers or remarks.
Yeah, and I think for me, for some of the sketch covers I've got, I'd still be tempted to send to CBCS because you can get them labelled as art rather than a grade on the comic book, which kind of appeals for some of those books as well, I think. Good stuff. Simon, again, this might be rumour, this might be rubbish, but apparently Ryan Gosling is in line to play Ghost Rider. What do you think of that?
Ooh, well, it'd be good to get a new Ghost Rider going, wouldn't it? So, so the last one was Nicolas Cage, I think. Well, no, we had one in the series as well, didn't we? Yeah, the series one. Would this be? Have they said it's definitely him, or it's just a rumor?
No, it's. I mean, some of the different places that are reporting it are dodgy, so it's just another one of these kind of.
This is complete. I think this is complete horseshit.
Yeah,
you can read the thing. Marvel Studios has officially cast both Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
like that's grammatically.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, I would say that I think Ryan Gosling would be good in the role, but we were talking the other night on the show, and we're saying there's only one Ghost Rider for me, and that's Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say that. I think we need some fresh blood. I love Gabriel Luna as Ghost Rider. I thought he was great.
Yeah, he was pretty cool.
It's a shame he never got his show because I think he really deserved that. I love the idea of Ryan Gosling doing. I know Norman Reedus wanted it for a long time. He's like 60 now, so he's too old. Ryan Gosling would be awesome, but I feel like he wouldn't want to do a franchise thing. I could see him as a villain doing a one and done character, for one movie. But the idea of him I'm going to stick around for all of these things, I just struggle to see that.
Yeah. Anybody else got any comments on that before we move on?
I just think he's too big of a star for Marvel to do. I think that obviously they do still use big stars, don't get me wrong, but I feel like a lot of the time they want the unknowns. They want people to come in and then portray that role for a long period of time. You're not going to be able to pay the money that he would want to lock him in for that amount of time.
I think they did Pedro.
I was going to say, who's the bigger star, Pedro or him then?
But this is the
thing. At the moment, Pedro, I think.
I think you get away with it with Fantastic Four because I feel like Fantastic Four is what's going to carry the Marvel MCU moving forward. Like they need that family unit and that core. That's what they're banking on, right?
I can't not move past that. You think Pedro is a bigger star than Ryan Gosling?
Last year, Pedro Pascal was like the biggest star in the world. Like
Peter, don't ask James that question. We know what the answer is going to be. Ask anybody else.
But you're insane, man. Just because he was in a show that you like doesn't mean he's automatically the biggest star in the world.
No, he was fucking
the
everywhere.
Biggest
literally
star in the world.
You couldn't turn on a screen without him on it. Because there was that meme, the meme that went around, like everyone looked at it. When The Last of Us was on, he was like everywhere.
Let's have a vote. Let's have a vote, just with us guys on.
No, because people will say do it in spite of me. Okay.
Do you think I have that much power? Do you think I have that much control over these people?
There must be some.
The thing is, right, is that I think he's a fine enough actor, but I'm just not as obsessed as James is.
Exactly.
He does nothing for me. I wouldn't say it was like superstardom.
You're insane. You're fucking lunatic.
Let's move on.
Being popular for a short period of time.
Yeah, James, distract you. Look, I've got a nice picture of you on screen.
This is a weird one, isn't it?
This is Tell me a little bit about this. What the hell's going on here then?
So, a new Lord of the Rings movie has been announced, live action for 2026. Andy Serkis is directing and starring in it. So it's a Gollum movie called The Hunt for Gollum. And there's not much more details about it. But Peter Jackson's producing, as I assume, obviously set in the same universe. This is sort of out of nowhere, isn't it? It's very strange.
Yeah, it just kind of came totally left field to me, this one. I'm not saying I'm not interested, mate, because I love the Lord of the Rings movies, and I think Gollum is an interesting character.
For a whole movie of just Gollum?
Yeah,
It'll-
Because there was a
it'll
Gollum
just-
video game just last
I was
year. that
going to say,
disastrous.
yeah.
Like
If it
horrendously
follows the
bad.
Gollum game, no chance.
Yeah. Also, Andy Serkis is a bit spotty as a director, like Venom 2 and Mowgli and stuff, you know. So, but like
Oh, I
obviously,
thought
amazing
Mowgli
talent.
was good.
Well, that's what I mean. Venom 2 versus Mowgli, like
Yeah.
spotty. You know, he
Yeah,
couldn't bad.
okay.
So, yeah, but just very strange. Like I'm very interested to see what the actual movie is. Like I can't imagine he's the protagonist of it. It must be the hunt for
Is it-
Gollum. Who's
is it-
hunting Gollum in it?
Is it based on an original book, or is it?
I don't know. As far as I'm aware, Gollum's only in Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. He's not in like the Silmarillion or anything like that. So it's not based on a Tolkien work.
Okay, interesting.
So I don't know.
I
I,
mean-
don't know who's hunting for him. Like, where do you set that? Because Gollum finds the ring as a hobbit, and then he's just, you know, at what point
Yeah.
do you put this? It's yeah. I don't know.
Interesting. Fuzzy, behave. Maybe he's most popular with geeks. Joe Public would all choose Gosling over Pedro.
I'm not sure about that.
Fuzzy is the
I'm not
voice
sure
of,
about that.
of the people. He knows his stuff.
I don't know.
Fuzzy knows his stuff. I'm with Fuzzy.
I
I'm
would
with Fuzzy.
at least in the because I think Barbie really upped Ryan Gosling's kind of credit as well. You know, so
You said the biggest actor in the world.
at the time when the Last
The
of Us was on.
biggest actor in the
When
world.
The Last of Us was on, he was the most famous person in the world. Like,
The most famous, not even an actor. He's the
100%,
most
yeah.
famous
Oh my God, he
person
absolutely was.
in the world.
are you fucking senile or something? Like, do you not remember March last year when he was everywhere? Literally, you couldn't look at a screen without Pedro Pascal on it.
I just love the
Yeah.
fact you've doubled down. We've gone from actor to
very
now
short-
just the most famous person
Oh,
ever,
yeah,
isn't he? Of
absolutely.
all time, James.
all-
Of
you're
all
insane.
time.
You're all
bigger
insane.
than Jesus.
You're all-
That's what I've
you're all
heard.
s-
Bigger than
This
Jesus.
is so stupid. This is
I want to
such
see
bad
James
memories.
with Pedro tattoo. That's cool.
Yeah.
I would do sometime. That's me. I'm speaking objectively. That's not even me alone because I love Pedro. But I could admit, like, oh yeah, he's small. The
You're
small
speaking
actors I like.
objectively.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love Jensen Ackles. I wouldn't say Jensen Ackles is the most famous person around. Like, he's not. But like Pedro Pascal was at very least.
The Rock would like a word. He shot over Pedro.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's jumping in. The Rock.
And just say The
Yeah.
Rock is the most famous person in the world in general is just
Madness, James, isn't it? It's
So-
madness, mate. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. We've got some fantastic forecasting. We obviously know Pedro and some of the big casting, but we've had some interesting casting over the last week or two. I'm pretty pleased with all of this, to be honest. Really interested to see what Malkovich is going to bring. Not sure what role I see him in.
Herbie. I hope it's Herbie.
I don't know.
I hope he voices Herbie. That'd be
Mole
hilarious.
Man.
Mole Man, yeah, maybe.
I think Paul Walter
Gonna
Hauser is
be,
Mole Man. To be
I
honest.
think John Malkovich was going to be Willie Lumpkin, the mailman.
Yeah. Grumpy Mailman, yeah. But I mean, what are you thinking about Galactus? Because I think that's a inspired casting.
Great. Not someone you would think. That's the kind of casting I love. Is not someone you would think of, but when you say it, you're like, yeah, I can absolutely see that. I think that'd be great.
See, I love the casting. I'm just upset now that I know that Galactus is in the movie. But
They
I
already-
said that
they'd
for a
already-
while.
They announced that.
yeah, but
already.
rumors and like people
Yeah.
saying this, that, and the other. But I just wish that things could be a surprise in the films.
Yeah.
Why is Julia Garner a Silver Surfer though? I just
Oh, let's not get into that one. We'll get cancelled. So she's going to be a version of the Silver Surfer,
okay.
but we don't know if it's. She's not playing Norrin Rad, but she's playing. I'll get the name wrong. Efren, help. Is it Shalbal?
Shalabal is
Shalabal, I think she's playing Shalabal, who traditionally was
Shalabala ding dong.
Shalabala ding dong. Yeah, I think she's playing Norrin Rad's love interest, but there was all hell kicked off about that. But
Yeah.
she's cast as the Silver Surfer, so it might be that she's playing a version of the Surfer. Just
Isn't
don't
this
know.
in like a sort of the Jetsons retro futuristic kind of universe? Like it's not even in the main MCU. Like
Well, that's not been confirmed yet either.
But
That's
like,
not-
if there's a piece of the concept art that's like New York, but it's like futury looking.
Yeah.
But it's not modern day. It's 50s like retro futuristic. So I think that's a pretty safe assumption.
some of
that's
the
case.
some of the stuff that's come out today is that Franklin Richards is going to be a big part of it as well. So that would be interesting. It's interesting with all of this kind of news, and yes, we've talked about Galactus for a while, and Doom's not been mentioned for a while. And I did wonder about Malkovich playing a version of Doom. Would be interesting.
It's too old. You want someone who's Pedro's age bracket.
Oh, we're back to friggin' Pedro.
Yeah, because they're supposed to be like school, like friends as kids.
Yeah,
Are they not?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So shut up.
Yeah. Actually, that Paul Walter has a bit of a look of you, James. Yeah,
He's a very handsome man.
He's a very,
what are you trying to say?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Yes,
saying. He's a
thank
sexy, sexy.
I
beast.
also
like him.
would not swap seats with a kid on a plane if it was me. So
Yeah. So yeah, overall, happy with the casting here. I think there's some great choices there. Looking forward to that one. Efren. I couldn't end without just poking fun a little bit about our American colleagues. I normally like to look at some food-related products. Couldn't find any food-related products. What the shit is going on in America? You can buy a robotic dog with a flamethrower attached to it, and it's perfectly legal in 48 states. Have you got one?
No, I just have normal dogs, so just
Oh, get one, Efren. Think of all the shorts you could do with that, Efren. If that thing running around your back garden, setting fire to your F-15.
oh my god! When did you see this? Jesus, man.
I saw this like a week ago.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Fuzzy's just saying I can't. Gina Carlo.
That's
Esposito.
not, he's been up for that, up for Professor X, but that's not been. There's no confirmation of that. I think.
You'd be a very good Doom, but you would be a very,
It would
very
be
strong
fantastic,
Doom.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Just going to touch a little bit, guys, on some.
A
Sorry.
robot dog. If that kills somebody, are you responsible?
Oh, I would imagine so. I don't know.
But
Yeah,
you
it's
didn't.
your dog.
I mean, it's a robot, isn't it? That's very. I assume in the next 2 weeks, this thing will kill somebody, and there'll
Surely
be a
it'd
whole
be
legal
licensed
dispute.
like a gun, surely. So, they
I don't
should
know.
have
Flamethrowers aren't necessarily weapons, though. They're tools. Like,
It's just a can of links with a lighter on it, isn't it? That's
What
what
do you
that is.
mean it's not a weapon?
Yeah.
it's like it's only a weapon if you use it as a weapon. Do you know what I mean? Like a hammer.
It's
is
not a weapon. It's a flamethrower.
Flamethrower. Yeah, but flamethrowers can be used in farming, like for
On dogs.
things.
Maybe.
What part of
Well, yeah.
farming
Well, then you
uses
have to
a
go to the
flamethrower?
farm. There could be like pollen over the field, and I've seen it. But the farm. There's a farm next to me that burns the crops, like to stop them growing over summer. And
Roast the
stuff.
potatoes.
How do they do it if they don't have a robotic dog? What's their method?
Just flamethrowers.
Backpacks with huge flamethrowers.
This is safe. This is safe.
Man
for these
alive,
people.
Ireland's an interesting place. You go from a Guinness factory to blokes with flamethrowers strapped to the backs. Farming. Wow. Yeah. I think this is. I mean, this.
Yeah,
this,
you have
this
sheep dogs. You got flamethrower dogs. Like, that's purpose has to be. Yeah,
absolutely.
it's very versatile. Dogs are. Aren't they?
Yeah. Efren, you've not seen Civil War, have you?
No.
It's a hard watch, mate. I think for an American, I felt very uncomfortable watching it. For you guys, I bet it's a difficult watch, scary. But I have to say, Efren, if you get the chance, I would watch it. It's a great movie. You've seen it, James, haven't you?
Yeah, phenomenal.
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
fantastic. Yeah.
And it doesn't point fingers at particular political groups. I don't think it's very
No, it's
generalized.
very
do you know what I
vague.
mean?
It's very
Yeah.
vague about what the actual conflict is. Like, it's not a Democrats, Republicans kind of right wing, left wing
Yeah.
thing. It's sort of like Florida and New York have joined together.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not the same political divide that's in America at the moment.
So
Which I think is nice that they did that.
speaking of United States, if any of you guys could live in the United States, would you?
Yes.
Right
Only
next to
if
you,
I-
Efren. Of course I would.
Only if I was in one of the states that allow robotic flame-throwing
Yeah.
dogs.
Efren, that's a really interesting question because my wife's, she's never been there, but she's got dual nationality because her mother was Australian. So we could emigrate to Australia anytime we want. And I've got no interest at all in Australia. But if we could move to Florida, I'd be there straight away. I absolutely love the place.
I'll be 5 years behind you, Pete.
Yeah, honestly,
I'll follow you over there.
I don't know why. I just love it. Absolutely love it.
You'll
Seeing
move
that,
right
San-
around the time that James moves to your neck of the woods, right?
yeah. When James
As soon
moves
as
here,
I move next door. Yeah.
yeah.
See you later.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Okie dokie, guys. Right, just going to briefly touch on some books we've been reading recently. I've mentioned some of these already, but if you guys have been reading anything, please do let me know, and let me know in the chat what you've been reading. So, first part of Marvel's Bloodhunt. Very, very cool. Enjoyed that one a lot. Much better than I expected. You read it, Efren?
Oh yeah, I agree 100%. You know, I liked it more than I thought I would. I went, oh, that was good. And to find out the last page,
Yeah.
first issue, I go, wait, what?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so it caught me, by surprise. So I've enjoyed it so far. Yes, and it's only one issue. So
Yeah, I've really, really enjoyed it so far. And then we've got the other far side there, Get Fury, which is by Garth Ennis. We talked about both of those books over in the Killer Comic Show last week, so check that out. But that's just a brilliant... This is about the Punisher, basically, and being tasked with going into the jungle and finding Nick Fury, who's been kidnapped, and basically killing him because he's got too many secrets. Very cool. And in the middle there, we've got the last issue of What We See We Do. I always get the friggin' title wrong. How do you say it again? What We See Beneath the Trees. Where nobody
Beneath the
sees.
trees, there nobody sees.
Yeah. Not going to spoil it for people, but Luke, you read that now?
Yep.
What did you think?
So, it's exactly where I would be happy with it ending, but solely on the basis of if we're getting more.
Yeah.
Right. So I've had my theories about the book and things like that. This is a good ending if this is going to be if there's going to be a continuation.
Yeah.
It's not the ending that I would want for the story overall. And again, I'm trying to avoid spoilers. So yeah, I feel like maybe they did have an ending in mind, but after the popularity and the success of the book over the last few months, I feel like maybe they've then signed up new deals and done new things and said like, okay, maybe we'll do some more. And so I feel like it's going to prolong. But I enjoyed this. Very, very Dexter-ish. Like, I love it.
So that's going to be my point. I've been saying all the way through that I've thoroughly enjoyed the series, and it gives us Dexter vibes, which is a series that I absolutely loved. This final issue cemented it in my head that this is basically a season of Dexter. It's got the exact beats that Dexter had. It ends in the same way Dexter ends. Do you know what I mean? It's very, very good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I went in expecting a twist, and I was disappointed I didn't get one. I've reread it twice since then, and I'm very satisfied. I'm very happy. This is a great
I think it's very
volume.
good. I heard a few people disappointed, and again, I think it's because they were expecting something more.
Yeah.
I took it for what it was and thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah. Any of you guys read any of these or got any books you want to mention?
I haven't read the last issue. The middle one, Beneath the Trees.
Yeah.
I think Luke might have mentioned it before. They have animals that they're like, they have dogs. They show them walking dogs, and the butcher has animals. Did they mention that at all? Why they do that? No, I was curious about it. Because yeah, I'm not sure why they do that. If they're animals themselves.
Yeah,
I haven't read the last issue.
I mean, I don't want to spoil it for you, Efren. But once you've read it, we'll talk about it on one of the shows. But I think that leads to my unfulfilled feeling initially that I thought we were going to get.
See, there's so much that I want to say.
Yeah.
But again, even people on the panel here haven't read it, so I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
But if we can do a spoiler talk at some point, then I'm there for it. We'll
yeah, it's worth reading. It's a very good series. Sean's he's never seen Dexter. Oh, Sean.
Neither
First
have I.
few seasons in particular. You've not seen it, Efren?
No,
Seasons
Honestly.
1 and 2 were amazing. So
Which one's the one with
John
John
Lithgow is great.
John Lithgow?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that is
season 4.
amazing. Yeah.
Season 4.
Well worth a watch. Some of the earlier seasons. It's amazing show. Patrick messaged and says he wants to, if he's allowed. Good stuff. And we're going to interview Patrick. He's agreed to come on the show next month or the month after, I think. So I'm looking forward to that. Fuzzy saying ended perfectly for me. No complaints whatsoever. Good stuff, mate. Canadian Survivors, nice to see you, bud. And Sean, I'll definitely watch it now. Sean, I really would recommend just watch the first season and just see what you think of it. It's just, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Anyone else got any books they want to mention that they've read
Real
recently?
quick, Peter, that last page of that Get Fury, that scene when they're cutting the guy's face off. I haven't read it yet. That issue, that's horrific. I went, dang, man.
Yeah, it's rough, Efren. It's a bit
Yeah.
rough. There's not many scenes like that in this, but if you've read any of Garth Ennis's Punisher, you know that he pushes the boundaries as much as he can. So yeah, it's a great little book, actually, really cool. Okay, guys, if nobody else has got anything else to want to mention, we'll talk about what we've been buying, what we've been picking up recently. Anybody got anything they want to show off?
I got two things that I will show, but I'm not going to go into too much detail about them because they will be videos that I'll be putting out on my channel. The first one is this amazing book that I picked up on eBay.
Oh, nice.
It's an artisan issue for issue number 1, but the beauty of this is that there's actually 3 different versions of the artwork in this book. So you get the original sketches, the original pencils, then you get the more artistically drawn version, and then you get the final piece. So this has literally got so many different, it's basically the entire comic just drawn out and laid out in its entirety in those 3 different stages. So I'm going to do a video about that on my channel and show it off.
Nice.
And then finally, kind of sticking with Turtles, because this is definitely reminiscent of a character from Turtles. And we've mentioned this company quite a bit on our toy show. But I picked up the Crocker from Fury Toys, Fury Planet.
Cool.
And he is just amazing. I've only just got him out of the box. So again, I'm going to go into more details about him and this toy line in an upcoming video. But
Who's the maker of that one, Luke? Sorry?
This is Fury Planet. We've mentioned them a couple of times on the toy show. They've done the werewolf one that I think was mentioned just last show. I think we were talking about it.
Nice. I like that one. For me, I think I've mentioned this on another show, but I'll mention it again. I picked up this. I don't collect trading cards, but this is a graded trading card of Thor signed by Roy Thomas, who obviously was a big Marvel creator back in the day. This is a near mint 8. So yeah, quite pleased to have picked that one up. That's quite cool. I like that. I picked up an action figure that I'm going to paint. So this is Warhammer 4000. This is a Space Marine. It's an artist's edition, so it's not painted, obviously. So it's a blank canvas. Simon, guess why I've bought this? What am I doing with this?
I don't know. Apart from painting it.
Touch the
You
button.
haven't even
Touch the button. Touch the button. James, why would I have picked up this?
Well, I'd imagine because we've been playing a little game called Helldivers, and the Space Marines in Warhammer 40,000 are very similar in design to Helldivers. So you got this, and you're going to paint it some kind of a yellow and grey colour scheme to match Helldivers. Possibly also stick a cape on it, I would guess.
Well done, James.
That would have been Simon's second guess.
That was
sure.
Simon's second guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I ask Peter, have you finished painting your He-Man?
Oh, shut up, Simon. I haven't started.
I haven't
Started, right? I haven't started. There's a cunning plan for that. I got that. Next and last, I picked up this. This is good old Captain Britain. This is my 3rd copy of this. This one doesn't have the mask. My other 2 copies have got a mask, but it does come with a little Stan Lee signature on it.
Ooh,
so
nice.
I'm hoping that that's genuine. So this is a one I will be sending off to CGC to get graded. Once I've worked out what they do if it hasn't got a mask in it. So what I might do is put my mask from the other issue in this one.
So by all accounts, they said not too long ago, maybe 2 years back, that they were no longer going to give them green labels if they were missing the mask.
That's what I'd heard, but I think they're still right on the label, mask missing or something. I don't know.
Yeah, possibly. But you can avoid that. A little loophole. You can avoid that if you get a special banner. You know, the ones with the pictures on. All
right.
If you
right. So you mean
pay the extra $5 and get that,
Yeah.
because then it goes on the reverse. Those notes are on the back of those ones. So then it won't show up when you have it on the wall.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I'll look into that. Efren, have you got anything you want to show off, mate?
I don't have anything to show off, but Luke, I bought my first Pence book, and I'm gonna pick it up this Saturday at a comic book convention. My friend's a vendor, and I'm gonna pick it up from his booth. So I got my first Pence book. So it's an X-Men.
Do you know what? I'm both happy and upset because I'm putting together a little care package for you, and I was going to put a couple in there.
I think I sent you a Pence book, Ashton. I think you've
Oh,
got
you
Julian
did?
Jack. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did. I take it back.
It's
It'll
not
be my first
forgettable,
bought
Peter.
pen.
The book that you picked.
Yeah.
The first one that he has bought himself.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what matters.
Yeah.
Making
I
sense
bought
of
my
Broke-
first Pence book.
Broke my heart. Broke my heart, Ashton. Yeah. James, anything you got?
Yes, so we were out gallivanting last week in London, jolly old London. And we went to see Gustavo Santaolalla, who is the composer for The Last of Us live. And I went into the merch stand and I saw these. So this is a music sheet of the opening song, which was The Last of Us Part 2. So the main theme, this is the Part 2 version. And it's signed by him up there. So yeah, I love that. Really happy to have that. So I'll get that framed
Very
and
cool.
stick that on my last.
I'm so glad that made the journey back safely.
Yeah.
Just about. Actually,
After
another thing
drink
I bought-
spills and everything else that
So
happened.
I didn't have a. Usually I bring a little wooden a card poster tube or something. I didn't have one, so I bought this one with a strap on it from Amazon.
Bazooka.
Over there. It's fucking huge. The size of it. Hello. Massive. So that'd be good for cons though, or I might just get all my poster tubes and put everything in that. So I got
I mean,
that.
you could have gone to
Today-
B&Q and just got a drain pipe.
We went to Tesco and I couldn't find any. I actually wanted to even get a thick thing of kitchen foil or something like that. I could just roll it up and put it in, but I couldn't find one that was big enough.
Kitchen.
Yeah, just the tube that's inside it. Just, literally just some protection, But
yeah,
I got this
got you.
anyway. So,
Thought you were gonna wrap it in.
and then today, so obviously you can't tell from here what this is, but I went on Amazon and I've been looking at them for a while, and I just thought I'll get one and see if they're any good, and I'll get more if I like them. But it's a Hot Toys display case with a LED light on the top, so it's
All
acrylic.
right.
So you put it together. It fits pretty much just about the entire figure, and I'm pretty sure you'd be able to stack them. So that's why I'd like to get all my Hot Toys just stacked up to the ceiling, basically, with LEDs on them. I think they look nice. So
It'd be
I
interesting
got
to
one
see
just
if
to
you
try
still
out
get
because
them
I'm
in
sick
good
of dusting
poses.
them. Which
Be interesting to see if you can still get them in dynamic poses.
I've
within
seen
that.
someone put a Spider-Man in one, and not super dynamic, but I have a lot of mine are just kind of lightsaber and
Museum
force
pose,
push or
yeah.
whatever, so that kind of thing. So I'm gonna do.
Ooh, you'll have to
try
send
them
some
in Nate and
pictures
Drake.
once that's done.
Yeah, I'll show them to you. I'm gonna put it together once we're finished here and see how it looks.
Yeah.
So that's that. So that's everything.
Very cool. Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. Simon, got anything you want to show off?
I do indeed, yes. Yep. So, first of all, I went this weekend to Doncaster to a gaming market. So, the reason I went to a gaming market is because I put some stuff on eBay just lately. Because Xbox 360 is closing down their online store.
All right.
So, a lot of rare Xbox 360s that weren't backward compatibility are going to be shooting up in price. So that's why I went to buy a couple of those games and put them on eBay ready, or keep hold of them for that July time,
Yeah.
ready to put them on eBay. So that's what I've been doing. I've been buying a lot of retro console, N64 games and things like that, which is pretty cool. Because I'm also going to sort of get into modding Game Boys, which I was talking to you about, which is a new thing I'm going to get into. Hopefully, not just a hobby, I'm going to make it into a serious thing. So, so anyone who's got a Game Boy and wants it what would they call new IPS screen, or instead of batteries you can put it upgrade it with a USB rechargeable charger. Any Game Boy Colors, advanced recipes and things like that, and new casings and all sorts. So that's the sort of thing I'm going to get into, which is pretty
Very
cool.
cool.
Some of my pickups that I've got. So Jarda Toys, I think I've shown this one, Ryu,
Yeah.
with which is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, and they are really cheap, $24.99, and they've got all the bendables. The one that arrived today, and I've not opened it. I don't know whether to open it because it's such a nice box. Is I got Evil Ryu.
Oh, cool.
You gotta open
really-
that, man. You can't even see
That's
the
it.
figure. You have to open that.
Yeah.
It's a really
it.
nice box though.
You've got to display
Yeah.
them together as well, kind of
Exactly.
attacking
Versus,
each other.
Evil
yeah.
Ryu. Yeah.
Get
yeah.
even print out health bars and stuff for them. It'd be cool.
And then last but not least, I got a signed print of Scott Campbell,
Oh, nice.
Wow.
which is very nice. Yeah,
Oh, Beauty and the
What's
Beast.
Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Very cool. Nice. Where'd you get that one from?
Just eBay. So I got that
Alright.
one. Yeah.
Very cool.
Anything
Good stuff.
I always pick up. So,
Yeah, yeah. Excellent. Good stuff. All the bendables is a
I'm gonna
great
start using that. It's got all the bendables and everything. You
Got
know?
all the bendables. Yeah, it's all
I didn't even pick that up. You know?
Oh, I picked it up. I picked it up.
Yeah.
Okay, chaps, we're gonna end off the show by talking a little bit about some recent TV and movie things. So if any of you guys have seen anything, please do shout out. I just wanted to mention I went to see The Fall Guy the other day. Anybody seen that?
Not yet,
No.
and it's not doing very well, so I think it'll be gone soon. So I hope I don't miss
Yeah.
it.
I mean, it's okay. If you've seen the trailer, you've seen most of the best bits, I think.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling is Ryan Gosling in it.
If only it was starring the most popular guy in the world.
I know, exactly,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well done.
Last
double.
thing, if it was Pedro now, it's been nearly $1 billion,
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
yeah.
So he's obviously
Billions,
that's fucking
billions.
famous.
Um, It's okay. I would, if you've got a free afternoon, it's worth a watch, but I wouldn't rush out to see it. Doctor Who this weekend. Anybody see the double bill of Doctor Who? No. So this was the Doctor's new kind of series starting. It's hard. Doctor Who's always been a little bit weird and a little bit childish. This amped that up something terrible. Space Babies, and then we had I don't know what her name is, Jinx, I think she's called, drag queen who stole music. It sounds silly. It is silly. It's very childish at points. But I don't know, there was something engaging about the new Doctor and his companion. They were really, really entertaining. So I didn't mind this. I'm going to give it a go, continue to watch it. But I can't say that I was overly excited by how immature it was at times. It was very silly at times. But yeah, okay. I cannot recommend the series enough. I've been banging on about it for years, and it seems to go under the radar. This is Inside Number 9, which I've talked to you guys about before. Every single episode is a different story set in some way in a number 9. So it's either in an apartment number 9 or studio 9. This was in carriage 9 on a train in this episode. Just gripping all the way through. If you like the old, do you remember Tales of Suspense and things like that? If you like that kind of series, worth watching. This is the 9th series, and it's the last series they're going to do. Then they're going to do a stage show, which I'd love to see. But excuse me, but really do recommend you check some of this out, because some of the episodes are absolutely spot on.
I love this show, this series. I'm only on series 3 because I watch them very sporadic, because they are just one-offs. So
Yeah.
I kind of watch one, let it sit with me for a while, watch other things, and then always come back to check out the next episode. Because again, like you say, they're just standalone stories, but very entertaining, and I'm really looking forward to catching up with the whole lot. But I'm still in no rush to do so.
Yeah, and I don't think you have to.
Take my time with it.
Yeah, and I, in all honesty, it's a series that when it's good, it is absolutely phenomenal. But each series normally has a stinker or so. Do you know what I mean? It
one
is
of my
a bit
one of my
sporadic.
favorites is very early on. Is the silent one with the 2 people robbing the house.
Yeah. That's
Very
cool.
clever, very well
cool.
done.
And these guys did very similar stuff to Late Night with the Devil and things like that. They did they're very good at tricking the audience, so they'll advertise and they'll shoot trailers for an episode that they've got no intention of airing, and then when you start the episode it switches. So they did a live episode which was very similar to Late Night with the Devil, and then they did a great one where they did it was meant to be on number 9, a bus, and they filmed the trailer and put all the trailer out and stuff, and then when you went to watch it, the BBC announced, there's been a change in plan, and instead we're going to show a games show, and it had Lee Mack, who's an actor
I
here.
remember this.
And it was just great, because it was actually the episode of Inside Number 9, but they didn't tell you. So you thought you were watching this game show, and there's a brilliant twist at the end. So yeah, very, very cool, very cool.
Makes you wonder how many people switched off. They went, "Oh, it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
on, I'm not going to
Yeah.
watch
Loads
it."
of people
Absolutely.
apparently, yeah.
Yeah.
You
So
guys got me totally confused about this show.
it's basically, think of an old Tales of Suspense. Do you
Okay.
remember Tales of Suspense? Every single episode is a different story.
Is it just one season?
No, there's 9 seasons. 9 seasons. And there's about 6 episodes per season. It's
And
worth
then
watching
all
a handful.
Number 9 each.
Inside Number 9. Yeah.
The whole series is called Inside Number 9.
Yeah, yeah. And each, like I say, each episode is set in a different location, which is somehow related to the number 9. So it'll be a house number 9 or a bus
And
9.
What season are they at right now?
9.
9.
Hey.
Yeah. I'll send you some recommendations of which episodes to watch, Efren, because there's some really, really good ones.
Put that in the group chat because I'd like to.
Yeah,
I've seen the Mesha one with Lee Mack.
Yeah.
Which I love. They're just brilliant ideas.
There's some very good horror episodes, and then there's some great, just kind of stomach churning episodes. Sean's saying bad reviews for Doctor Who. Yeah, it's been pulled a little bit, I think. If you go in expecting just a kid's kind of silly program, it's not bad. Just watch series 2 of The Night Responder with Martin Freeman. Well worth a watch. Yeah, I've heard that's really good, Fuzzy. You'll have to check that one out. I like Martin Freeman. I like Martin Freeman a lot. Fuzzy, Doctor Who makes my piss boy. Can't argue with that. Number 9 has held its quality more than Black Mirror. Yeah, that's very hit and miss nowadays, I feel. Yeah, I would agree with that, Fuzzy. I would agree with that. Okay, last thing I wanted to talk about was Planet of the Apes, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. We'll start off spoiler free to start with, and just get people who've seen its overall thoughts on the movie. I'll start off. I went in with not low expectations. That's not fair. I think I went in expecting it not to compete with the last few movies, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I thought this was phenomenal. I thoroughly enjoyed every moment of it. I thought the special effects were just breathtaking. I forgot it was special effects, if that makes sense. It was just beautifully done. I'd say for me, it's the same argument as I have with the Godzilla type movies. I understand and appreciate why you've got human characters, but I don't think it really needs them. I would rather just have a full ape-long movie. James has stepped out of the room, so I can say it quite freely. I think they were very sneaky with this. I think they did a lot of bait and switch to try and I'm interested in Luke's views. They very much choreographed in the trailers what was going to be special about this young lady. They really kind of hammed that up during the movie, I think, kind of trying to lead you in that direction, and it didn't pay off. You got a different ending for it, but I didn't mind. I loved it. Luke, what about you?
What a wonderful day. Yeah, I mean, exactly what you said. So the word bait and switch has a very negative feel to it when people say it, but I think this was the perfect type of bait and switch because, again, without spoiling anything, everything I thought about this film, everything that I theorized and thought was going to happen, didn't happen. So right away, that goes up in my expectations. That means that I walked out of this absolutely loving it because I'm not just Mr. Know-It-all all the time. My expectations were through the roof for this film. I'm so glad that it hit the landing, that it paid off. Yeah, I don't really want to say anything else until we officially say okay, spoilers, and then I will talk a little bit more. But I loved it. This ticked the box for me. I'm so excited to get more from this franchise.
Yeah. Simon? Sorry,
Efren. Simon saw it. Sorry.
No, so Efren, what were you saying, mate?
I was going to say, is this movie set I heard it was set like 300 years from the last movie?
They don't define it. They say a number of generations.
Are they aware that humankind was, they were the leaders of the human race, or is that totally forgotten? Like their history.
It's patchy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There are some who know a lot about it, and then the general populace are kind of ignorant to it, I guess you'd say.
Okay.
Sean saying, is it a trilogy? I'd heard they've got, is it 6 or 9 movies planned in this run?
So this is definitely a trilogy, and then we'll get another trilogy. So again, I don't want to spoil anything by saying what I think those trilogies will be or where that will lead us to, because again, I don't want to take anything from this, but I have thoughts.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to talk spoilers?
We will in a minute. We'll
okay,
get Simon.
I mean, muted too then, okay?
Yeah.
Let me know when you're back. Let me know when you start.
Okay. Simon, what did you think?
I think obviously it was a long time before I watched. I rewatched obviously the last one before this, which was where Caesar died, basically. War. Yeah. And so that for me, that movie was a bit different one, and I wanted more apes in that one, but I get why they did the way they did it. So then this one was like you said, a time skip generations later. So I did enjoy it, but there was things I wanted. I suppose, because I've obviously seen the other Planet of the Apes, original one, that I wanted to happen more. But in its own right, it's a good movie. I think the story and plot could have been a bit more. I don't know. There's elements in it that could be a bit more interesting, but the CGI, I have to agree with you, Peter. The CGI was just up there for me. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, listen, I don't want to kick Efren and people off, but we're going to do 5 minutes on spoilers. So Efren, just pop your fingers in your ears for a few minutes. We'll let Luke talk about his theories.
Just give me a thumbs up when you guys are done.
Yeah. Okay. Luke, what are you thinking?
So, one thing that I want to say that I didn't like about the film, and it's a very minute thing, water doesn't behave that way. So like how water came in and then it rose. That should have been a thing going down, and then that would have made more sense.
And I would argue, if you're going to build yourself a nice big bunker kind of thing, probably don't do it on the edge of the seaside like that.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
But then again, we don't know how. We don't know where that shoreline was, or how many generations it's been coming this way. So again, I can kind of see it as well. But no, I thought this was brilliant, and again, I hope everyone realizes we're going to talk spoilers, because I really don't want to upset people. So final warning. The idea of this girl not being an astronaut, which is what I thought that's what it was going to be. I had this whole theory of, they're looking for a telescope in the trailer. She's then seeing the star constellations. She realizes this is Earth and everything else. No, none of that. Humans are still around. Humans are still existing. And some of them still retain their intelligence. They're immune to the virus, or they've stayed away from it. You get the impression they've stayed away because one came out in a hazmat suit to meet her.
Yeah.
The idea that she was saying, I would need to retrieve this item that is like a book that will enable people to speak again. At first, in my head, I thought, she wants a hard drive with a virus in order to reinfect the human race and bring them back. Turns out that's not quite the case, but to get humans to speak again across long distance with satellites and communicate to other places. I love all this. And again, a bit like the whole Beneath the Trees thing, where it's this is good if there's going to be more, because I am all for that original movie from the 1970s or whenever it was made. One of my favorite movies of all time. But as it stands right now, this is not a Planet of Apes. Humans are still very much there, and this trilogy, this franchise, could still be battling between the two species for a very long time before we get there. Now, that being said, you could end this movie with the Caesar War of the Planet of the Apes and just say, okay, the Charlton Heston one is the next one in line. You could end this movie here and say, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is the last one, and then Charlton Heston's is the final one. I think that as this trilogy goes on, I think we're going to see both these characters, Noah, and May, within this trilogy. I think that's going to be an ongoing relationship, or at least I would hope so. Because the human characters don't tend to stick around for very long.
No.
They're one movie and they're done. But hopefully she does come back. Hopefully we'll see more of her, because there's lesser humans around. You know what I mean? It'd be nice to see her back again. But eventually, by the time we get to that's second of these new trilogies, so film number 9, hopefully that either is a remake of that original film with the astronauts, or it at least ends there, and then you say, okay, the Charlton Heston one is the next one. Because right now they still don't have a society. They're not, in that Charlton Heston movie, they've got, law and order, they've got scientists, they've got all of those different fractions of a society like we would have here, albeit apes, and they're not there yet. They're not there at all. I
agree. Look, I
could talk about this for hours.
I'm just conscious we've got everyone, and I think the interesting thing for me as well is that this, I think, made painstaking care to not let us see people die. So the orangutan fell into the water. He could still be alive. The big bad at the end of this fell off the cliff into the water again. So theoretically, yes, he might have hit the rocks, but theoretically he might come back, because he was a good bad guy. I quite liked that. And I don't think he was that bad, really. He just wanted to.
This is the thing, right? So this is the whole point of the film, is that none of them were bad. You know,
Yeah.
they all. This reminded me of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, where you had Koba and the Gary Oldman's character,
Yeah.
and then you had Caesar. Again, all three of them, they're the heroes of their own story. They're not bad, you know. And even May in this, when she betrays Noah, you know, it's because she's like, you're meant to side with her, but because we're following Noah, we feel like she done him dirty, she done him wrong.
Yeah.
But really, she done the right thing by us humans.
Yeah, great. I would recommend people get out to see it, because I think even just for the spectacle of seeing it on the big screen, it's well worth a watch, because
I love the eagles.
the special.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
do.
Yeah,
me too.
the Eagles are my
was
favorite
brilliant.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, guys, we'll call it there, because I'm conscious that the guys are sat in the background. Okie dokie, chaps. We're coming to the end of the show now. So just to mention a few things that are coming up on the channels. This is where you can find me. I've got a whole host of videos out as usual. We've got I Can View This All Day, where we look at the Roger Corman Fantastic Four. Got my Destro figure. And we've got my recent pickup of the first appearance of Batman Beyond for people to check out. I've also got a bit of a vote going up at the moment for our next I Can View This All Day after Rocketeer. And at the moment, Starship Troopers is steaming ahead. So really, really looking forward to getting stuck into a bit of Trooper action. I'm pleased with that. I'm looking forward to reading that one. I've got my Batmobile video out at the moment. That's just a ridiculous thing, so please do check that video out. It's doing very well, that video, so please do go and have a little look-see at that. Next Monday's show, guys, we will have finally watched the last episode of X-Men 97. So we're going to do a show all things X-Men. So we're going to look at the X-Men movies, X-Men comics, and then we're going to do a review of the full season of X-Men 97. So I would hope you guys are free to jump on that. If you are, let us know. And it would be cool to talk all things X. Ephron, you hopefully will have finished by then, you said?
I just finished episode 2 of X-Men 97. So
Brilliant. Brilliant. Good stuff. Good stuff. So that will be next Monday night, guys, talking all things X-Men. Not sure what time we're going to do that. I'm going to chat with the chaps afterwards, because I might move my show till 9 o'clock. I don't know. We might see. Please do check out Killer Comic Show on Thursday night. We've got all kinds of great reviews going on, and the usual hijinks, cover picks, and all that kind of jazz. We've also got One Good Scare Show. James, tell me what's happening over on One Good Scare at the moment.
Yeah, so our schedule's been a bit muddled lately. We've been busy. We've had a weekend away last week, so hopefully next week we'll get back to kind of the regular every Friday with the main videos. But we'll have this. I'll Be Right Back on Scooby Doo was out last week. I'll Be Right Back on The Strangers. I'm hoping by Wednesday night, Thursday night, and then we'll have One Good Scare live on Friday then. And then we'll have a tarot review at some point this week as well. So I'm seeing it tomorrow, so we'll record that hopefully tomorrow night or Wednesday, and that'll be out at some point over the weekend.
So lots and lots of cool stuff happening over on One Good Scare. Please do check out the channel and give us a sub. Excuse me. Last night, myself and James guested over on the Geek Week podcast, and we're supposed to talk halfway to Halloween, but we ended up going off on a bit of a tangent, and we talked all kinds of good
45
fun
minutes
stuff.
of toys and cons.
And, So it was great fun, actually. Really enjoyed it. Those guys are cracking, and we're going to be doing more joint content with them. But please do go check out their live show. It's live over on Super Sorrel's channel and also Jacob's Toys. So check out that show. It was good fun. Good fun. Okay, that's all from me. Luke, what have we got coming up on your channel?
In all honesty, I really don't know. So like I mentioned earlier, I want to do this Croc video. I want to do the Turtles video. There's a whole number of other videos that I want to do. Put it frankly, I just need to get my arse in gear and get them done. I've kind of been slacking. So something will definitely be out soon. I'm just not sure what. So stay tuned.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Simon, we got anything coming from you, bud?
Obviously, I'm going to be creating a new Instagram account for this modding in this Game Boy modding. So once I come up with a name, and I'll send that across to everyone to like and share. I probably will do a whatnot this Friday because I haven't done one in a long time. and get some comics selling. So
Good stuff. Good stuff. You got much to sell? Got some good books?
yeah, I've got some good books to sell. Yeah, so quite a lot, different
Well,
ones again.
let me know what kind of books, Simon.
I'll post them up. So
Okay. Good stuff. Looking forward
You
to
don't want to
that.
advertise it to people here now, possibly. The
No,
10
it's just
people that are
books.
watching
Don't worry
now,
about
the
just-
120,
I've got so
30
many,
people
I
that are
don't
going to
know.
watch
Yeah.
the rewind.
It'll be
What
books.
kind of
You could
books?
say Marvel, DC,
It'll be
Image,
books.
like-
It's comics. Be
X-Men,
fair.
90s,
X-Men.
80s, nothing at
all
all.
modern, all modern. So.
Modern
Variant
books. Good
covers
stuff.
or full runs?
Let's move on. I
Okay.
feel myself aging. Ephraim, we're joining you tomorrow night, no, my bud?
Yeah, Peter and James are going to be on my channel tomorrow at 8 o'clock your time. Comic Talk is the one Peter and I have been doing for a while, where we ask each other questions. Peter, you already sent me your questions. James, you want to send me your questions separately?
Yes,
so
sorry,
you're
I'll
able to see
have
them.
that to you in the morning.
And Wednesday, I'm going to be doing my own show at 8 p.m. my time. I'm sure you guys will be sleeping, but it's called Comic Culture. And I'm trying to set up some interviews with me and Peter. One of them, my friend, became a vendor full time. Quit his other job just to do vending for a life. To just doing that.
That's
So
the
hopefully
dream.
he'll be
That's
on.
the dream.
And hopefully I'll have another artist for us to interview too. So keep your fingers crossed. And before we end, Peter, press that recording button. I want to see what the hell that does. I've been looking at it this whole.
Oh, Ephraim. It's like Google on Father Ted, isn't it? Dougal, sorry, on Father Ted. Don't
Yeah.
press the button. Right. We might just suddenly cut off everybody. I'm pressing the button. I'm pressing it. The button's pressed.
Is it?
I think
Yeah.
it's pressed for each individual. I think it's a recording of just your screen.
You're probably
You're
right.
getting wrong, Ephraim. You're getting wrong. It says Past Point Comics has low storage space.
No way.
Well, on that riveting end to the show, we'll call it a night there. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Please do check out Ephraim's channel tomorrow night, 8 o'clock UK time, where we'll be asking each other some probing questions. So looking forward to that. Right, good night, everybody, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.